everybody, welcome back here. Now, I recently decided to take a look at the new static comic that came out from the new reintroduced milestone that they're doing. I decided to myself, I've heard the talk about it. I said to myself, let me take a look at this series, I got the first 5 issues, and I decided to take a read of it to see what it is about. I can honestly say they should have they screwed this thing straight to hell. Honestly, to God, straight to hell. I mean, the minute I saw Vita Ayala's name, I knew something was very, very, very wrong with this. And I'm going to start and see if I can get through this to let you understand my issues with it. Now, the first thing they did, the very first thing that they did with this was they changed Static's origin and self-included political nonsense that had no right to be there. Instead of Static getting his powers while police used tear gas on a gang violence thing and, he got his powers from that. No, they changed it to a Black Lives Matter protest. Several questions have to be asked right there. One, why a Black Lives Matter protest? Why? Because they started putting this thing that Virgil Hawkins is a normal teen interested in science, but he's angry. Why is he angry? They never explain in the book. It shows how they think about teenagers on the whole. You have to be angry, you have to be upset with what's going on in the world, you have to be, downright ready to explode, you have to be this, you have to be that. It's always supposed to be something building under the surface ready to erupt. But you never find out why. They never tell you why Virgil is upset, because when you look at it before all this happened, he was a normal teenager. Yes, he had a girl he liked, he had some buddies to bully him. We all have some problems with something like that, but they had to build on it. And speaking of the bully, the same one who becomes hot streak, he becomes the bully. He has a problem with Virgil, because Virgil isn't black enough, even though Mr. Bully is white. Let me repeat it so you'll understand. He has a problem with Virgil not being black enough, even though he is white. So you literally are a racist for being an ass. That's the only way I could think about it. So Virgil goes to this Black Lives Matter protest with some people from his class, and of course they're putting a couple of white people inside of there to make it look like, they go there to defend the Black Lives Matter thing. The police show up and are like, leave, and we protesting peacefully, so the police is saying, you know what? Load the experimental tear gas and just fire it on these porch monkeys and done the story. That's exactly how it plays out. You literally just fire it on these people for no reason. And then they try to insert something about how the same bullies and gang members, 3 of them, come to the Black Lives Matter movement and decide to have a fight with Virgil. So you expect me to believe they took time off from their gang-related stuff to go to a Black Lives Matter protest. And when 2 people get into a scuffle, that is supposed to be considered a whole riot. And these police officers show up and say to themselves, you know what? These people black, we don't have to care. Let's just fire this thing at them. They shoot it into the crowd, people coughing, bleeding, and I am like, this is not how it works. Police cannot just shoot tear gas at people just like that. These people were protesting peacefully, they weren't doing anything. But according to Vita Ayala and the other imbeciles who make this book, this is what happens to all black people regardless of what it is. And it doesn't stop from there. You understand me? It doesn't stop from there. They use this book as a literal launching point to show that they have no idea how black people behave, how they build things that they do. Nothing. This book stops very short of being borderline racist at times. Honestly, it's very short of being borderline racist at times. Now, Virgil gets what in the gas and one and the other and goes home and he sleeps it out and fine and one and the other and goes to school, and then same racist white bully for some dotish reason who is only racist because Virgil isn't black enough. He doesn't mind it. Decides to start something with him and turns out he has fire powers, and Virgil literally fires off electricity and beats this fellow up in the cafeteria. And you somehow expect us to believe nobody knows who he is. That is a very ridiculous plot point that they push in this series, because it's like why even bother to have a secret identity? I mean, not only do you beat up this fella in the cafeteria in front of dozens of witnesses, some idiot who wasn't even there decides to come along and say to himself, well, okay, I didn't take credit for it even though I did not, even though people saw this happen. So apparently all these people are stupid. Another point I want to put in and all, I don't know why they changed Static's hairstyle. I really don't. It was working before. I liked the way his dreads used to look. I think it was cool. Yet they changed it now to look like something my little sister would have worn when she went to primary school. It looks ridiculous as hell. Literally ridiculous as hell. So, I mean, I'm getting back to the point. After that happens at the cafeteria, the fella literally comes to Virgil's house and literally light burns the whole thing. This fire powers. Virgil runs him off, uses electricity to literally capture the fire energy and put up the air. People are watching, recording, but still somehow nobody's supposed to know he's static. Another thing, maybe it's just me, but fire is supposed to burn. And for the amount of time that this fire was burning, the damage to the house is literally superficial. None of the electronics are damaged. None of the it just basically has some ash damage around the inside of the house. That is all. A little paint, repair the roof, bam, it's good. Literally good. Now, getting back to the whole ridiculous thing when it comes to these black people and how they literally showcase black people in this comic. Yeah? Now, in this one, Virgil's both parents are there, even though, I don't know, they never explain what his father really does, whether his father is a very strong man, he does some karate or some kind of thing like that. I don't know. It's never really explained what he does. Yeah? But when they realize that Virgil has powers, I mean, the father, understandably, wants to have him go and get some tests or something to make sure his son is okay. But here comes his mother. And I mean, this is not exactly what she said, but it's basically like this. I am a black woman, and I know what they do. If they take my son, they're going to experiment on him, and I'm never going to see him again, and that's what they do. I'm like, wait now, lady, you honestly believe that just because your son is black, they're going to take him and experiment on him? That is really what they're going to do. They're going to look at him and say, hey, you know what? He's black. Let's experiment till he can't even walk. We don't have to care. He's black. I mean, it's not done like that. Yet, in this universe, that is exactly how it happens. I mean, after the whole Bang Baby incident, which makes no sense, because they can't even call it a Bang Baby incident, but I'll get to that just now. It makes no sense. These so-called government agent types recruit pyromaniac sycophant to go and literally find out all these shit, because he's perfectly happy to sell out everybody he knows as a Bang Baby. They literally just go take these children, literal children, up at school, at their house, wherever, take them to some abandoned part of town, stick an inhibitor in their neck and experiment on them. And I'm like, where are their parents? Where's the mayor? What is really going on? Nobody seems to give a shit. These people just do whatever they want and they're like, okay, fine, no problem. It makes absolutely no freaking sense. How they try to play this off, I don't know. But it's ridiculous to the hell of it. Literally ridiculous to the hell of it. And of course, let's not forget, they have to inject what they think are the problems everybody else is going to have something to do with. Now, we have, for those of you who know Static Shock from either the comics before or the TV series, Richie is Virgil's best friend. In this book, it's more like a passing thought kind of thing. He shows up there, and let's not forget, it make reference that he's gay, because it needs to be there. Why, I don't know. It does nothing for the story other than to inject their own, forgive my language, horse shit into it. That is it. Nothing else is done for the story. And also there's this other fellow who has some kind of streaming service thing and want to be some kind of reporter. He has, when it is, Static is talking about the people have a right to be upset for being locked up and thing. He's all, I'm a black gay man. I know about rage. And I'm like, what the hell does any of this have to do with the story? What? So you basically expect everybody to believe that just because you're black and gay, that must be the focal point of it. He should have been a background character, probably just documenting what's happening with Static, what's going on about it. Not somebody you're pushing into the story like it's supposed to be important for something. Certain parts of the art style are not bad, but then far from good. And the story more focuses on pushing this agenda. Even the company that made this experimental gas. I think it's Alva is the company that make it. The one black man that works there who have some brain to develop it, they decided to put everything on him. And he's all, I know what's going to happen. I'm a black man. They're going to blame me and they're going to come after me. And that is exactly what they do. And I'm like, so nobody launched a freaking investigation. They just decided, okay, the one Negro in the room must be guilty. That's what they do. That's to tell you how badly this story is made. It does, the whole thing with the Bang Baby incident, as I stated, utter rubbish. Because what you could have done, what you could have and should have done was a story centered like this. Virgil and Richie, they're friends, they're doing their stuff, one and the other, okay. It have the bullies at school who targeting them. It have this one guy who leading some gang and stick up for them. And one day they get roped in to go into this gang thing. They don't want to, but the guy threatens them and tells them that, he protects them all the time. They have to pay back now and whatnot. So they go to it, and it's happening at a part of town, somewhere close to like the warehouse or something there. And they're having this whole thing. And they decide that they're just going to try and get out of there. And they hide out in our warehouse. And it turns out that Alva has some experimental chemical that they ship into some overseas shady business type thing now. And the police show up and fire the experimental tear gas, which ignites the chemicals that they have there, causing this big bang. It covers a wide area. People are exposed. Static and Richie are exposed to it, but they managed to get out of there. And another thing they could include is that the tear gas has a sort of tracking thing in it, kind of like a nuclear dust, so they could track anybody who gets away. And that adds to the chemicals that are already there and causes the explosion, which causes that could work as an ignition for the Big Bang. This way, you have people who should have been there are there. You have a story within a story, because now you have Static being exposed, Richie being exposed. You have the cover up that Alva has. You have to wonder where they were shipping it to, who is responsible, what is going on, fallout from the Big Bang, all these things. Now, I've heard people say that Static before was political and people just kind of making it all kind of stuff. I don't agree. It had elements to it before, but it was more about building the hero, building the character. This is more about building a blasted political standpoint. Because when you read these issues of Static, and they call it Static Season 1, and I hope to God it ends before it ever gets to Season 2. But when you read this, it pretty much delivers a message to you that if you're black, it's over for you. You literally have no chance of anything going right. Things are going to go downhill. They're going to come for you. They don't care. That is what they're literally telling you in this entire thing that they're trying to build here. The story is terrible. The art style doesn't work. The whole design that they did for Static is an absolute mess. And when you have people like Vita Ayala, of all people, writing things like this, I mean, the dialogue is corny as shit. It sounds like if they're actually trying to appeal to somebody who they figure have no sense at all. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible written story, and it shows just how much they don't care about anybody or anything that they do at all. It's terrible. It's really, really freaking terrible. I mean, I wanted to read this to see for myself, and I can honestly say the negative comments I have seen online are well worth it. The story is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, borderline racial, disrespectful, and absolutely stupid. Avoid this nonsense, please, because I read five issues of it, and I don't want to see any more. This Static is a whole lot of static, no shock, and it's an embarrassment. Anyway, if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you think if you have read this new Static Season 1, what your thoughts are on it. Ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care.